Thursday, the 1st of October, 1942. Yesterday I was very frightened. At 8 o'clock the doorbell suddenly rang. I thought that the Germans were coming to get us, but everybody said that someone only rang for a joke, or that maybe it was the postman, and I felt calm again. Peter can be very funny sometimes. We both like to dress up in silly clothes. One evening, he put on one of his mother's tight dresses, and I wore his suit. Everyone laughed so much. Miep bought new skirts for Margot and me at the Bijenkorf. They looked like potato bags. Friday, the 9th of October, 1942. The news is very bad today. The Germans are taking away many of our Jewish friends. They are sent to concentration camps at Westerbork, or even further away. We think many of them are murdered there. I feel terrible. The English radio says that the Germans are killing them with gas. Perhaps that's the quickest way to die. Perhaps you don't suffer so much that way. Tuesday, the 20th of October, 1942. My hand is still shaking as I write this. 2 hours ago, we heard an awful noise at our bookcase door. The knocking didn't stop, and someone was pushing and pulling at the door. Perhaps they had come to arrest us. We were white with fear. But at last we heard Mr. Clayman's voice. "Open up, it's me!" The door was stuck, and he couldn't open it. We had a good time on Monday. Miep and Jan spent the night with us. We cooked specially for them, and the meal tasted wonderful. Monday, the 9th of November, 1942. Yesterday was Peter's 16th birthday. He had a game and a cigarette lighter. He doesn't smoke much, but the lighter looks good. There was a big surprise, too. Mr. Van Daan heard that the English have reached Tunis, Algiers, Casablanca, and Oran. It is not the end of the war yet, but perhaps we can hope for the end now. Perhaps it will soon be history. Well, what about food in the annex? A man brings bread every day, a very nice friend of Mr. Clayman's, and we've stored 100 tins of food here. We can buy ration books on the black market, and we've also bought 300 pounds of beans. We decided to move them to the attic, and Peter was given the job. He succeeded in getting 5 sacks upstairs, but the 6th sack burst, and a river of beans poured downstairs. I was standing at the bottom of the stairs. Peter couldn't stop laughing when he saw me in a sea of brown beans. Unfortunately, though, the beans are very small and have disappeared into all the holes. Whenever we go upstairs now, we look for a few more beans. Tuesday, the 10th of November, 1942. Great news! Another person is coming to live here. 8 is no more difficult than 7, and it is so dangerous for Jews now. We have chosen a dentist called Alfred Dussel. He seems to be nice. Miep knows him, and she will help him to get here. He will have to sleep in my room, though, and Margot will have to move in with our parents. We'll ask him to fill the holes in our teeth. Tuesday, the 17th of November, 1942. Mr. Dussel has arrived. Everything went smoothly. He came to the warehouse, and Miep asked him to take off his coat so that no one could see the yellow star. Then she brought him to the private office. He still had no idea where he was going or what was going to happen. When she opened our bookcase door, he was so surprised. He thought we had left the country. We were waiting around the table, ready to welcome him with a drink. After lunch, he slept for a short time, put away his things, and joined us for tea. We gave him the list of rules for the secret annex that the Van Daans had written. Guide to the secret annex for Jews and other people without homes. Open all year round. Near to the centre of Amsterdam, but in a quiet street with trees. Price? Free. Food? Low fat. Water? In the bathroom. Sorry, no fixed bath. And also on some of the walls. Space for storing things? Plenty. Private radio? For all guests after 6 p.m. But you must never listen to the news on German radio stations, only music. Rest hours? From 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. 10:15 a.m. on Sundays. This is for your safety. The management may also ask you to rest at other times too. Use of language. Speak softly at all times and not in German. Exercise. Every day. Lessons. Offered in English, French, and other subjects. Singing. Only softly and after 6 p.m. Meal times. Breakfast 9 a.m. 11:30 a.m. on Sundays and holidays. Lunch, a light meal from 1:15 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. Dinner, sometimes a hot meal, sometimes not. The time of dinner changes because of radio news broadcasts. Bath. The movable bath can be used by all guests after 9 a.m. on Sundays. You may take your bath in the bathroom, kitchen, private office, or front office. The end.